I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and 7 people.
All right, man.
All right.
Ready to get into this?
It's the laughs. Yeah.
All right, we're going to check out from the homie. We always got to give credit to the homie. Wavy Web Surf, another video from Wavy Web Surf. When being a Discord freak ruins your life. Uh-oh.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
Wow.
Uh-oh.
He's shooting shots at people.
Uh-oh.
He's shooting shots at
Just
people.
saying, when being a Discord freak ruins your life. Now, I know we don't have any of our members in our Discord going this far down the rabbit hole, but it is just a video I thought it would be interesting to check out. Not everybody in the chat saying Hussein.
Y'all, it's not me.
So we're gonna check this out, man. There's some wild people in some wild Discords. That's why we kind of have to keep ours moderated as best as possible. We can't open it to the public because we may end up in situations like this. People sending wild stuff and doing wild stuff, and we don't need that in our community. So we're gonna check this out. Definitely gotta be on the road page. What's good, Steve? What's going down, homie?
Man. Known to harbor some unsavory characters, from extremist edgelords to power-tripping moderators to gooners.
Imagine you being under 5 feet, bro.
Discord is known to harbor some unsavory characters, from extremist edgelords to power-tripping.
Damn, bro, you barely.
I mean, he right at 5 though.
He barely above it, bro.
You hear me?
Damn, that's crazy.
Hey, bro, gotta have the charisma. I mean, Kevin Hart make it work.
Someone saying echo, 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 echo. Is there echo?
Echo.
Someone saying echo, echo, echo. Is there echoing still, y'all?
Was it echo on your end? Did you just replayed it?
Is there echoing still? Hold on.
Tripping moderators to gooners and everything else in between.
Someone called the Tops, reporting the threat made on Discord.
The gamers, the moderator said, "What?"
So it's echoing when I play the video. Vic.
All right, play it.
All right.
Oh, this is dangerous.
These idiots have done it all, and today I'll be introducing you to some of Discord's dumbest degenerates.
To start off today's video, I'd like to disclose to you all my genetic makeup.
Okay, cool. All right, bet. Just want to make sure.
10% off your of 2022, 26-year-old James Ricky Mead II must have woken up with the worst hangover of his life, because on this day he would declare war against beer itself. James posted in a Discord chat stating that he had plans to, quote, fly a plane into the towers of the Anheuser-Busch plant.
What?
Adding, I hope they got a terrorism insurance. The Budweiser plant in question was one local to him, that being the Anheuser-Busch factory located just 11 or so miles north of Columbus, Ohio. This production center was iconic within the local community, notable for its large twin.
Wait, Chim, said, see, this is why when I goon, it's off Discord.
We didn't need to know that, Chim. You could have just kept it to yourself, Chim. Chim, just you could have kept that to yourself, bro.
Towers. It appears James Ricky Mead had plans to recreate his own alcoholic version of 9/11. It was a jihad against barley malt and hops. While it's unclear what prompted Mr. Mead's threat against the Anheuser-Busch towers, the comment was apparently issued in a public Discord community chat for anyone and everyone to see. According to court records, an anonymous woman saw these messages in the Discord and decided to report the threat to authorities. After police picked up on the pissed-off Pilsner plotter, James Ricky Mead II was quickly arrested at his home by members of ATF and was charged with making a terroristic threat, a third-degree felony.
26-year-old James Mead II is accused of making the threat in a group chat on the social media app Discord in December, writing in part, I hope they got a terrorism insurance plan the day before.
Things only got worse for Osama bin Laden here, as when investigators discovered the man's occupation, they were furious. Turns out James was actually an Ohio National Guardsman. He worked in the state military and was allegedly plotting to destroy one of Ohio's most beloved state monuments. What a betrayal! At the time, Mr. Meade's rank was listed as specialist, and his military occupational specialty was air defense battle management system operator. So with this context, you could probably see why prosecutors were throwing the book at this guy.
Yeah.
It's within reason to think this dude could get access to a plane and could have the know-how to perpetrate his Anheuser-Busch kamikaze threat. Investigators continued their background check and reportedly found other comments from James which promoted violence against law enforcement, minority groups, and women. Maybe James was mad and wanted to blow up the beer factory because he was drunk when he posted this incriminating shit. You know, he's like, this is all your fault. It also seems James wasn't alone in his online antics. Bizarrely enough, James Ricky Meade wasn't even the first person in his National Guard unit to get arrested for making threats on Discord. Just a week prior to his arrest, another member of his unit, 24-year-old Thomas Devlin, was arrested for allegedly making threats saying that he was going to shoot up a local Jewish school, a school that he was actually working at as a security guard. On Discord, under the alias Patrick Bateman, Thomas would say the following: I'm at a Jewish school and about to make it everyone's problem. And he said, the playground is about to turn into a self-defense situation. Actual threat, Sam Hyde reference, who's really to say? But when you're in the military and a security guard at a fucking school with children, police don't care one way or the other, you're getting cooked.
Earlier this year, Devlin was indicted after being accused of making anti-Semitic and violent statements online. The U.S. Attorney's Office says the posts happened while he worked private security for the Columbus Torah Academy, a private Jewish school.
According to some sites, Thomas, like James Meade, also made threats regarding the Budweiser manufacturing facility in Columbus. Looks like both of these guys had beef with Budweiser. Yeah, it seems James and Thomas might have actually been friends. Aside from being in the same guardsman unit, they also worked for the same security firm. Their camaraderie would extend to the courtroom as well. Both men would eventually face sentencing for their alleged threats issued on Discord. James Ricky Meade would plead guilty to making those remarks about wanting to bomb Anheuser-Busch's Twin Towers, and the judge would give him probation with a suspended sentence of 3 years in prison that could be imposed if he violated his probation. So basically, he narrowly avoided jail time, and the court is keeping a close eye on his activities. Thomas Devlin, on the other hand, wasn't so fortunate. This guy got hit with some serious time, being sentenced to serve 6 years in prison. This is because it was found that Thomas, on top of Discord threats, was also manufacturing illegal ghost guns, which are essentially untraceable homemade firearms that people can make with 3D printers or by other methods. With the conspirators thwarted, Anheuser-Busch managed to avoid what George Bush couldn't, and their Twin Towers remain standing to this day. But while the beer factory may have escaped harm, that doesn't mean the store that sells the beer is safe. Discord mod threatens to attack a grocery store.
This morning, a central New York man is charged after police say he threatened to carry out a mass shooting at a Top store in the town of Manlius outside of Syracuse.
Meet Zachary Mullen, a 20-year-old New Yorker and rather caricaturesque-looking Discord user. Zachary would find out the hard way that threatening your local community and online chat
I was thinking it. I was like,
rooms comes with serious consequences. You see, Zach landed on the radar of law enforcement after posting some extremely concerning messages to a Discord, which appeared to show him detailing a master plan to attack his local Tops grocery store. Location: Tops, Manlius. Date: next week. Expected kills: 1 to 2.
What?
Tops in Manlius. Planned date: Monday or Friday. Time: around 1 or 2 p.m. I can use my dad's shotgun one last time. That's a good way of grieving, right? What? Debating on whether to do a mass murder or becoming a legitimate racist and buying a KKK outfit. One of them would be good. Well, that's one hell of a choice you got to make there, bud. Now, you would think a guy of Zachary's stature would have something of a soft spot for grocery stores, but clearly that wasn't the case.
Oh, yeah. My boy.
he be cooking.
Literally.
You would have thought.
He was apparently out for blood, and no free sample or BOGO deal was going to stop him. In the wake of previous tragic mass shooting events that have taken place at markets like this, when these comments were reported, police weren't willing to take any chances with this guy, and they would pay him a visit.
A social media post that threatened to commit a mass shooting at the Tops supermarket in Manlius and suggested racist overtones sent local lawmakers and police into action after someone called the Tops, reporting the threat made on Discord.
Zach was arrested a few days after issuing his comments, and his residence would be investigated for any contraband that could be used to carry out his threats. After obtaining a search warrant, police discovered a shotgun and an additional firearm in the house, though it was later determined that these weapons had been in the family for some time and actually belonged to Zach's father. His dad had recently passed away just days prior, which gave added context to his earlier comments in the Discord chat. You start to get the idea that all of these threats and edgy comments may have been some twisted way of Zach grieving his father's death. You know, perhaps him just blowing off steam in these Discord chats. Zach's attorney would argue this sentiment on behalf of his client, making the case that Zach's father's passing put him in a dark place and that these threats were empty, nothing more than an emotional outburst in response to the loss of his father. That said, it doesn't excuse Zachary's comments. We have no way of knowing if he was serious, though I'd like to think it was just him lashing out here rather than being a genuine plan. The judge seemed to have the same concern, but given the circumstances, some leniency was shown. In the end, Zach was sentenced to serve 1 year of probation. It's understandable to be upset over the passing of a loved one, but any reasonable person should know that threatening innocent grocery store workers and customers with gun violence in a Discord chat isn't the way to go about it. Now that we've discussed two grown-ass adults, let's move to a teenage Discord degenerate, whose story just might be one of the funniest out of today's. Dalton Barnhart threatens to kill 7 people in Minecraft, literally. The youngest offender in this mega comp of Discord dumbasses is 15-year-old Dalton Barnhart, a Discord user and Minecraft player who issued a direct threat of violence to his school and got pulled up on by the police not long after. The whole interaction getting caught in 4K on police body cam. I do want to note that the name Dalton Barnhart was actually a pseudonym, and the name of the kid isn't public information.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
Damn!
Falcon Warrior 920? Who's that? Yeah.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Damn.
How did he get to this point?
Why?
One day, while playing in a public Minecraft server, Dalton, who went by the alias Falcon Warrior on both Discord and Minecraft, typed the following to the in-game chat. I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people at a minimum. Now, if you look at logs available from where this chat was sourced from, it does appear that Dalton's comment was made with the sole intent of rage baiting in-game. As you can see, some other players call him out after seeing what he did, issuing comments like, bro, don't say that stuff, calling him an edgelord, etc., etc. And Dalton replies with something along the lines of, LOL, why do you care so much? Dalton reportedly went on to issue other threatening messages on Discord, which got the attention of several others in his Minecraft community chat. Edgy jokes or not, Dalton's comments and associated Discord were reported to authorities. This resulted in police showing up to the 15-year-old's house and confronting him with the messages that he had made in Minecraft. The entire interaction involving his pissed-off mother. It's some pretty legendary footage.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and 7 people. And Falcon Warrior 920? Who's that? Yeah. Go ahead and turn around. Put your hands on your back.
I like how they. Who's that? That's you? Go ahead.
All right, go ahead. Turn around. Turn around. Go ahead. Let's get this over with. Come on. Come on. We're not gonna play these games with you.
I like how he just. All right, go ahead. Turn around. Put your hand behind your back. You're going to jail. You have the right to remain silent. Anything
Absolutely.
that you say and do can and will be used against you in the court of law.
In front
you
of
have the
mom.
right of an attorney. If you cannot afford one, an attorney will be appointed to you. Do you understand me?
Over Minecraft. Let's get to it.
He's under arrest currently for making a threat to cause a mass shooting / act of terror. It's a
Cause a mass shooting?
yes. He made a statement, a threat, a written threat to plan or to carry out a mass shooting.
But he's just a little kid playing a video game.
And all these kids keep getting arrested. And that's why the FBI and the local law enforcement is spending so much time. Because how do we know he's not going to be the kid from Parkland? He's not going to be the next kid, the kid that shot up.
Right.
We don't know that.
These games, these kids say stuff like that all the time. It is a joke to them. It's a game.
Guess
and
what?
it's so
Guess what?
wrong, but it's just a comment. So how is
The fact
there
that she not-
There's a Florida state statute that says you cannot make a written threat to cause a mass shooting, act, or kill or harm anybody else. So he'll be going to DJJ,
What's that?
the juvenile jail. We're going to go from there. The charge is a felony or an act of
He's a
terrorism.
little boy. He didn't do anything wrong. Yes, he
Wow. Wow. Yeah, somebody said lock her up too. Nah, facts.
No, my mama would have been like, before you lock him up, I
just got
told you.
You finna have to arrest me for something else. Come on, bro.
Stupid.
15, he's still a little boy, and he's not one of the crazy people out there doing stuff.
Well, he did what he did.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be treated as though he is a
Too late.
terrorist or something because
Too
he
late.
made a silly statement
Too
on a
late.
stupid video
Apologize.
game.
You want a gun?
I have a gun, yes.
Okay, so he has hands and feet. He can grab your gun and go do something.
He would never do anything like that anyway.
We don't know. We don't know.
We don't
No,
know.
but I know.
He
No,
made
you
the
don't.
charge. He's going to face the consequences.
Yep.
Yep. 15-year-old Dalton Barnhart was
Idiot.
arrested and taken into custody for his threat
Somebody
issued
said belt
literally
to-
in
hey, for
Minecraft.
sure.
As far as I know, I don't think Dalton actually faced any serious legal
Yeah, he probably
consequences
didn't, bro.
because of,
Yeah, of
well,
course.
you know, his age.
Yeah.
I'm fairly certain he was shown some lenience here. Maybe a slap on the wrist, if you will. But one thing's for sure, police are no longer standing idly
No.
by when online
good.
threats are being issued.
Yeah.
There have been so many school shootings in past years, it would honestly be negligent for them to do so. They
Exactly.
will find
You see
you
some-
and they will
You see
investigate.
some wild stuff on online social media, report that shit, bro.
Yeah, bro.
You never
'Cause
know.
You just never know, bro.
That could save somebody's life. Report that shit. You see something wild, even if it's in our Discord, you let us know. We'll report. Hey, report that shit, and you know we wash our hands with it. Because if there's an opportunity to stop some stuff like that from happening, and you see it, please do it. Because you don't know if you could potentially be saving a lot of people's lives, bro. So don't play about that shit at all. Get them out of here.
It's you, joke or not, you're gonna get a visit.
I, Dalton Barnhart, vow to bring my father's M15 to school and kill 7 people.
Yeah,
he
he
made the
was
charge. He's going to face the consequences.
Yep.
A common trope we've seen thus far is individuals essentially self-reporting themselves into an FBI investigation. And this next example involves a woman who did exactly that, confessing to easily one of the most bizarre crimes in today's video. Discord e-girl confesses to stealing Nancy Pelosi's hard drives. Meet Riley Williams, a January 6th rioter who allegedly managed to get her hands on a highly coveted piece of technology while inside the Capitol building. Nancy Pelosi's laptop hard drives.
Wow.
Just think of all the insider trading knowledge stored on that thing. You could become a millionaire with the information in those drives.
Riley June Williams was arraigned on Wednesday. The FBI said the 22-year-old had plans to sell the laptop to Russia's intelligence agency.
Riley allegedly snatched the hard drives from Nancy's office during the January 6th chaos and escaped without getting detained by police. After making it home, Riley would allegedly take to Discord to announce the spoils of her trip.
Why would you do that?
Wait, no, what's the Discord? Because the Discord she's sharing that in clearly is the Discord that need to be found out.
Why would you even share that? It's like niggas don't watch spy movies or nothing.
None.
Bro. You're an idiot.
To the Capitol. Quote, I stole shit from Nancy Pelosi. I don't care. I took Nancy Pelosi's hard drives. I don't care. Kill me. Unquote. I know some of you are looking at this girl and are like, I can fix her, but trust me, you can't. You want to stay far away. Apparently, Riley was a bit of an attention goblin online. When she wasn't posting about having Nancy Pelosi's hard drive, she was performing full-on cam shows in her underwear for like 6 dudes in Discord video calls.
Hey, bro. Hey,
Come on, bro.
Y'all are some
sickos, bro.
Oh my God. Hey,
Look at the pictures there. They got all of them got their cameras
off.
Of course they do.
Sick. Just
Of course
sick.
they do.
Riley was eventually arrested.
Well, we have an update on a mid-state woman who took part in a January 6th riot. Riley Williams was sentenced to 3 years in prison. Williams was convicted of interfering with law enforcement and resisting or impeding law enforcement officers. She was not convicted of stealing Nancy Pelosi's laptop, which has yet to be found.
In 2023, Riley was sentenced to serve 3 years in prison for her involvement in the Capitol riots. However, I actually believe Riley may now be out of prison as Trump pardoned most people sentenced for January 6 related crimes, so I don't see why that pardon wouldn't apply to her. So if any of you guys are in the market for a Discord kitten, she's out of the kennel. Now's your chance, bro. Go ahead.
She's out
I'm sure it'll end well for you.
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon. Yes. Full pardon.
Next, we move on to an individual who may just be the biggest edgelord in today's video, and that's saying a lot. A teenage Discord user who LARPed as a video game villain fantasizing about violence for fun.
Hey, I just hey Discord.
That sound like
I want to talk to y'all out there.
villains.
I'm not saying that all of y'all have done this, but there's some of y'all that just, I think this may apply to some of y'all. And we're gonna watch this story together, Discord. We're gonna watch this together so you can understand why you don't need to go down this path of pretending to be a villain, because it's a dangerous route that can lead to potential jail time or serious hurt or injury. And we don't want that, okay?
Never.
All right, let's watch this together. Some of y'all know who y'all are. I ain't gotta say no names.
And he looks like this, by the way. This is Nathaniel Burkett. At the time of this story taking place, Nate was a 17-year-old high school student who essentially spent every waking hour of his life not at school playing video games and shitposting in Discord servers. The kid is your classic attention-seeking server menace, and throughout his decorated career of Discord degeneracy, he's issued many threats, essentially LARPing as a psycho serial killer. Let's peruse through this 17-year-old's post history, shall we? Under the usernames Worthless Scum and Demon Slayer 7777.
It's always a Demon Slayer.
There we go.
It's always
the Slayer of the Demons.
Nate would issue some of these classics. I'm going to kill so many people. So many bad guys will die. I'm going to stab so many people and make them hurt. I get pretty happy when I imagine myself being a villain and going on a mass murdering spree, like in a movie, as fucked up as it sounds. Ha 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 ha. I want so many people to die by my hand and then play with their guts while they are still alive. Nobody understands me, but they will understand how dead they will be in a minute. Then sometimes Nathaniel would show a more reflective and melancholic side, issuing classics to the chat such as this. At this point, I've given up and there's nothing left for me but anger and depression and suicide. I feel like if I ever took over the world, every person that treated me like shit, I would take them and make them suffer and make them have a slow death. And I would enjoy every single minute of it. Okay, that wasn't actually very melancholic at all. It was equally as insane and disturbing as the prior messages. Now keep in mind, all of this psycho serial killer I'ma play with your guts murder talk is coming from a guy that looks like this. Bro is literally built like an after-school chess club captain. While we're on the topic of appearance, I'd like to bring up the fact that Nate often posted his insane Discord ramblings using the avatar of Handsome Jack from Borderlands 2. Jack is the lead villain from that game. The character is sadistically evil and takes pleasure in murdering thousands throughout the course of it. You can see why Nate would use the avatar. He wanted to be like Jack, handsome and murderous. Two qualities that he didn't possess, though in fairness the jury was still out on the latter one. Nathaniel actually speaks on his affinity for Handsome Jack at some point in chats. I've tried looking on the positive side before, but every time I did, I got so confident, so happy, I felt so good, and I do feel great just to have it ripped away by somebody who is either a dick to me, broke up with me, makes fun of me, etc. And at this point, I've given up, and there's nothing left for me but anger, depression, and suicide. I hate to sound dark, but sometimes with this whole Hyperion thing, I feel if I ever took over the world, every person that treated me like shit, I would take them and make them suffer and make them have a slow death. And I would enjoy every single minute of it. That's why I hide myself behind Handsome Jack, because at this point, that's all I really feel like. A handsome Jack, being betrayed by everyone and being wronged by everyone over and over again till it drives me insane. And right now, I got nothing that makes me happier right now but death, or to make those assholes suffer. That's all I got right now. Eventually, the brooding and shocking online talk from this quirked up kid would get him in trouble. Some of Nate's messages, specifically the ones claiming he would enact violence, would be reported by members in the Discord server he was in, and authorities found them worrying enough to open up an investigation into discovering who Nate was and where he lived. They eventually found success in this venture thanks to Steam, of all places, who, after receiving a subpoena, Valve handed over Nate's IP to them and thus his location. After receiving this information, police would pay Nate a visit and he would be arrested shortly after.
After hours and hours and hours of work, they said, we need a subpoena. It was 4 days. 4 days until they responded to us. Despite us sending the subpoena and saying, we've got someone who's talking about mass murder, it took them 4 days.
Why the hell did it take 4 days,
So
bro?
here's what I'd like to ask Steam and Valve. If he'd have been threatening to come into your business and shoot up everybody, would it have taken you 4 days?
Heck no.
To have provided that data to your local law enforcement agency so we could identify him.
Not at all.
That's part of the problem we have.
The officer would reveal that before these threats were reported, Nate's church had actually kicked him out and banned him from ever coming back.
Presumably you get kicked out of church, fam.
Bro, I want
like,
you to
what are you
understand.
doing that much that you get kicked out of church?
I want you to understand. You have to be heavily deranged to get kicked out of the Lord's house. They're not just kicking you out for no reason. You gotta be.
You got banned from church, bro.
Bro,
That's
you
how you know
got
it's real.
banned from church, bro.
That's how you know it's real.
That's crazy. You crazy. You need some milk. Cause ain't no way.
Nate out of there, bro.
Damn.
Over something he had either said at church or something that he said online. Not Nathaniel, he's a good little Christian boy.
Along the way, we also determined that a church in Illinois had said, hey, don't come back to our church because of his outrageous comments.
The best part about this briefing is when the officer makes a statement to thank the gamers.
But I want to start by thanking the gamers, the moderator, who said, whoa, this is dangerous.
Yeah,
Nate certainly was pretty gnarly in his threats, but our next Discord degenerate definitely takes the cake when it comes to specifics. I need to get more serious here. Discord homophobe says he's going to kill exactly 100 gay people. On December 13th of 2022, a man logs into a Discord account featuring an anime profile picture with the name Bloodstained Sand and shares this. It's a photo of a modified AR-15 style rifle. Along with it, an extremely concerning caption. 600 West College Avenue, Tallahassee, Florida, 32306. At December 17th, 2022, 100 will die. See you there. It's a specific threat to say the least. And with an apparent attack against FSU's gay community just 4 days out, users who found the post reported it to Discord and the police, hoping to thwart whoever was behind it. Fortunately for the college, though, the individual who issued this threat had an IQ lower than the amount of gay people he was threatening to kill. Bloodstained Sand, in all of his vast wisdom, had registered his Discord account under an email that featured, you guessed it, his full name.
Oh, wow. Got him. We got him, boys. We got him. That's all right. Lock him up. Get him out of here.
Oh, my God.
Get him out of here, bro. Get him out. Get him out. FBI, open up. Yep. Go ahead.
Jeez, how dumb can you be, bro?
That being Sean Michael
Run
Albert.
it.
The FBI later
Sean
got a hold of his
Michael.
IP and
Oh,
correctly
it's always a
identified
Michael, bro.
Albert as a 19-year-old college student attending Full Sail University in Winter Park,
damn,
Florida.
not Full
Before
Sail.
attempting to make an arrest,
Damn.
investigators dug up everything they could in regard to Sean's history as bloodstained sand on Discord.
What's it, damn you,
In this
HB
venture, they found a slew of sus comments, racist,
Oh, of
and
course.
homophobic remarks such as
Of
these.
course.
Kill all joggers, which, if you know, you know.
Yeah.
A genocide on needs to happen, not even a question. And when someone
Hey, get him out of here. Get him.
Yeah.
Get him out of here, bro. Get him. Pack him up. Pack him up.
That
Get him
is
out of here, bro.
wild.
Just get him out of here, bro. That's all I gotta say. Cause we're still on YouTube.
asked what his plans were one weekend, he
Gotta be PG.
replied, tear gas a synagogue. I mean,
Yeah.
I was thinking we could watch the game, but all right, you do you, bro. In the wake of his threat against the university, the FBI learned that this ornery fellow would be traveling to the Orlando International Airport. And it's there that they would pay him a visit.
Good.
At the airport, the feds detained and interrogated Sean. It's reported they initially offered him 3 guesses as to why they were speaking with him, which would lead to him admitting to publishing, quote, an online post that may be perceived as a mass shooting threat,
Maybe.
unquote.
Maybe.
Yeah, you see, Albert claimed that the very specific threat with date, time, address, method of violence, it was all just a joke meant to be ironic and satirical.
Of
As a
course.
matter of fact, he didn't think it was illegal. Come on, guys, you don't think this is funny?
Right.
You're telling me that if I specifically say I'm going to kill 100 gay people at 6 o'clock on a Friday, I can't do that? Literally 1984. Now, in fairness to Mr. Albert,
idiot
officials
right here,
later
bro.
determined the gun image and the gun shown in it wasn't actually his. It was a photo that he had taken off of a Reddit post. But that doesn't really change much in the grand scheme
no,
of
it
things
doesn't.
here. Who cares if it wasn't his photo? When you're dealing with a twisted freak like this who's making threats like this, nah, dog, you're getting charged.
You wanna
The
fool
mentally
around and
deranged
find out?
Sean Michael Albert, aka Bloodstained Sand, would be arrested by the FBI and charged with issuing terroristic threats. He waived his preliminary hearing and would be detained for months before eventually pleading guilty to making threats in interstate commerce. While jailed for a time, according to reports, it appears Sean Michael Albert is out on supervised release. But he will remain on the radar of the courts at least until the end of 2020.
Love how they blurred out his face.
Of course. I mean, bro, people just do the craziest things. Man.
25.
They're trying to keep
While
him
it's
safe.
possible Sean was only posting his bombastic messages to Discord for attention, our next subject may have had more serious plans.
Oh,
High
boy.
schooler threatens to kill students who paid for her medical bills. This story is one involving a high schooler who vowed to hurt the very students who once fundraised money to save her life. In 2022, Trinity Shockley, a Mooresville, Indiana high school student, was tragically hit by a drunk driver.
We have an update on the case of a Mooresville high school student hit by a suspected drunk driver while walking to her bus stop on Tuesday morning. 15-year-old Trinity Shockley is still in the hospital, according to her family. She's suffering from multiple broken bones, her femur, her arm, and a fractured vertebrae and
It's her
skull.
head.
She's also bleeding in the brain in 2 places and may need surgery for her ACL. Shockley's aunt describes her as spunky
wasn't the
and
same.
outgoing with a good sense of humor.
Yeah.
She also tells us she's close to her father, Tim, who is a veteran.
The teenager suffered multiple life-threatening injuries, and the drunk driver broke several of her bones in the collision. While the drunk driver would be apprehended and jailed, Trinity was left in rough condition and had a staggering amount of medical bills to reconcile.
sure.
That's where her community and fellow students stepped in, together raising over $25,000 for Trinity's recovery.
Wow.
Thankfully, with the help of all involved, she would recover, and this seemed like the end of the affair.
Okay.
A feel-good
Seemed
story
good.
involving a tight-knit
Where does it
community
go
standing
wrong?
up for a young person in need.
Mooresville students and staff coming together tonight to help Trinity Shockley. She's the high school student who was injured when a car hit her at a bus stop. Mooresville High School shared these photos with us tonight. They exceeded their fundraising goal of $25,000, so Mr.
That's what's
Love
up.
got a buzz cut and looks good there. The high school was not the only group donating money for Trinity's
awesome,
medical
man.
expenses. The advanced physical condition classes at Paul Hadley Middle School in Mooresville also got involved by
awesome.
raising
That is awesome.
$7,600 for her medical expenses through their lift-a-thon.
Sadly, it seems this gesture of goodwill was lost on Trinity, as in the shadows, she was secretly studying and becoming fixated on violent school shooters, and would confess to wanting to commit her own, at the very school that helped her out, no less. Sometime after recovering from the whole drunk driver debacle, on Discord, Trinity confessed to a user going by the name TCC Mama that she was on the verge of shooting up her school, the very school that raised money for her medical situation. She claimed that she would use an AR-15, calling her plot Parkland Part 2, and revealed to the user that she had been planning it for about a year. Trinity apparently had an obsession with Nicholas Cruz, the Parkland shooter who killed 17 students at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School back in 2018. Her admiration for this vile figure was blatant. She reportedly wore a heart-shaped locket with Cruz's picture in it, and scribbled love notes in notebooks fantasizing of a life with a convicted mass murderer. And Trinity didn't stop at words and written threats, she had photos too. The girl showed off 10 Magpul AR-15 magazines to another Discord user who went by the name Sasha, and reportedly bragged about buying a bulletproof vest. Her plan was specific. She was going to strike during lunch for the most victims, and she said that her best friend would be the first target. This best friend is unnamed in the chats.
What?
Again, all of this anger towards the community that helped her.
Authorities got a tip that Trinity Shockley had been planning the attack for a year. They say she had access to an AR-15 and a bulletproof vest. Also, she idolized mass shooters like the Parkland gunman.
The pictures in her room they look like family photographs, like you would put of your kids, but they were all of people that had committed mass shootings.
I mean, you always hear people talk about.
That is
wild,
bro.
She
was messed up, man. That's crazy.
Something happened to go from that injury to wanting to, and it seemed like she was serious, bro. When you start posting,
she definitely got a hint. You stupid Nisha.
Posting the mass shooter pictures all over your wall and fantasizing and getting weaponry, and yeah, bro. I'm glad someone reported that, because that's not something to play with. That's creepy. And where are the parents? Why the parents ain't in here?
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, what's going on up in here? Unless they got one of them "you don't go in my room" type relationships.
I don't give a fuck. What the hell is this?
That's how some parents got to roll, bro. Sometimes they're not allowed.
Are you paying any bills here? Then no.
There you go.
No.
Welcome to parenthood. Leave that door open.
What the fuck?
I want to see what's going on in here.
Who is this nigga? Why is he on your wall?
Yeah, it's up.
Gen Z this, Gen Z that, but bro, I mean, someone would eventually catch wind of these threats and tipped off the Sandy Hook Promise anonymous reporting system, sharing Trinity's posts with the AR-15 bulletproof vests and Cruz fixation, along with the screenshots of the Parkland Part 2 claim. The FBI traced Trinity's Discord back to her home address, and local police swooped in with a warrant. Inside, they found a photo collage consisting of school shooters, including some of Nicholas Cruz, and various notebooks as well with who knows what. At first, Trinity called it a big joke, an ironic fixation, but she later cracked under questioning, admitting to actually having a lunchtime murder plot in the works, scheduled for Valentine's Day, no less. Trinity was charged with conspiracy to commit murder and terrorism-related counts. Then she was locked up in Morgan County Jail without bond. She is currently awaiting further proceedings, and her fate remains in the hands of the court. As you've come to find, issuing threats to Discord will get you a police incursion, but that's not the only way to get the cops at your door. This next user drew attention to himself off username alone. The arrest of I Rape Kids 666. Yes, that was actually the guy's username, and you'll never guess what he's in trouble for. William John Scott Tulco Jr. was an avid player of the game World War Z and garnered a notorious reputation for being a toxic player.
Of course.
Why? Well, aside from griefing other players, he often went by the username IRapeKids666 on the World War Z Discord server, and would frequently set his status to Discord as child porn as the game that he was playing. Naturally, this was concerning to other DayZ Discord community members.
What?
People would start taking and posting screenshots of I Rape Kids 666's disgusting antics to Reddit, and these images showcasing his vile conduct circulated around the site as people discussed horror stories of their interaction.
This is why we don't play that shit in our Discord. As soon as we find you gone, we banning you, I banning you, you gone, bro. And we will report you to the proper authorities.
Bro, that stuff ain't nothing to play with, bro.
That shit's weird, bro. That shit's weird. This shit not cool. Fuck all that rage bait stuff. You're a weirdo, bro. You're a weirdo.
You are.
And you belong in a cell next to Subway Man himself, Jared. So he can phone you.
Subway Man himself.
Like what? Fuck out of here, bro.
Interactions with him in game and in other areas of the internet. And the picture that they painted wasn't pretty. This is a real dude. I put a comment in the subreddit, but something seriously is wrong with him. Was rude to a fellow gamer, called me the N-word right off the bat. Called me a snowflake, told me he carries everyone, and then told me to kill myself. This person is infamous in the World War Z community. He kills his own teammates, then leaves like a pathetic coward. I have unfortunately had the unlucky opportunity of being matchmaked with him. I think I found his profile on Xbox. Dev seems like an edgelord cuck. He pretends to be Siberian too, then argues he's super good as gunslinger, but all he does is playing Vanguard and team killing. The satanic stuff alone and stuff is huge repulsive. I blocked an alt account with kids inside. Not sure what it is, but whatever. Hey, don't lump us Satanists in with this sack of garbage. We hate people.
Somebody that's a Satanist said, don't lump us with this sack of garbage. That is a top tier. Wow. Dog.
When you got a Satanist like, whoa.
Hey.
Whoa.
You got a Satanist saying, hey, yo, chill. We ain't on that time.
We don't even rock with that type of shit. Don't put us in that category.
A Satanist. A Satanist is saying, hey, don't lump us with this sick garbage. This sick sack of garbage.
That made me the clip, bro. Because that's the funniest thing I've ever seen.
For a Satanist to say that is very...
That's what you got to be bottom of the barrel.
Somebody said the Satanist, I'm a villain, not a monster.
Like this just as much as everyone else, and our tenets explicitly forbid causing harm or violating another person's autonomy. Yeah, not even the Satanists were backing this guy. You know he's an evil motherfucker. Now, while these anecdotes thus far have been sharing creepy and unsettling experiences with this guy, a follow-up comment by a user named ExoBrittanyC would suggest police needed to get involved. At this point, someone needs to call the cops. He has a picture of a little girl with money all over her. I will contact my sheriff's office tomorrow afternoon and see what can be done and what steps to take. Actually, I would probably contact Discord first and then call my sheriff's office to ask them what I can do about this person and the fact Discord could allow light CP for profile pictures. I reported him to the authorities. Probably all I should say other than people need to report him too if you individuals want the problem to be dealt with. Generally, you would expect a Reddit reply to not yield much when it comes to getting charges to stick. But in this case, authorities were actually able to track down I Rape Kid 666 and unmask him as William John Scott Tolko Jr. And what do you know, this guy had a bunch of CSAM in his possession. William was later charged with 10 counts, including possession and 2 related to distribution of CP. Hopefully this dirtbag spends over a decade in prison and is on the registry.
Hey.
Oh, nah, bro. Get him out of here.
Have him right next to Jared, and they can have foot-long sandwiches together. Get him out of here.
Yeah,
get him out of here, bro.
That's wild and weird, bro.
When you can bring Christians and Satanists on one page to say, hey, get him out of here.
Hey, boy said they not
even
villains, but they ain't monsters.
Get him out of here. Throw the key away and never let him see the light of day. That shit is weird, bro.
These clowns. Yeah, bro, that is very
wild. Bro. Fucking loser, bro.
For life. Time to lighten things up a bit. Our next self-reporting Discord degenerate is a young man who ruined his life by posting confidential government documents to a rather absurdly named Discord server. This is Jack Teixeira, 21 years old at the time of this story taking place. Jack was very much online and spent a good deal of time gaming, playing Halo and Call of Duty with friends that he had made on Discord, under the name Jack the Dripper. His interest in Call of Duty in particular isn't surprising, as the young man comes from a family with a military background. This would be the path that Jack himself would take, as he joined the Massachusetts National Guard immediately upon graduating high school. Within the first few years of serving at the 102nd Intelligence Wing at Otis Air National Guard Base, Jack served as an airman first class and was on the fast track to even higher positions. Even with this career, his online life continued, and Jack would meet many like-minded people through his gaming misadventures and also just in random corners of the internet. Teixeira was raised in a Catholic household and was right-leaning in his beliefs, especially when it came to gun control. Many of those he bonded with held similar outlooks while sharing the same ties to gaming culture. Which leads us to a Discord server created by Jack and his associates made to discuss their shared interests. In October of 2022, Jack and his friends would create a now infamous Discord server known as Thug Shaker Central, the bizarre name having its roots in a dance move performed in homosexual pornography. However, despite the name, the server wasn't full of gay porn, rather it was a place of cantankerous online antics engaged in by Jack and his crew. Thug Shaker Central has been described by the media in quotes such as a place where Jack shared his love for guns and memes and video games, unquote. More specifically though, Thug Shaker Central was a hub for leaking confidential government documents. See, Jack was using Thug Shaker Central as a repository to post military documents stolen using his clearance on base.
What the fuck? Why would you do that? No. Like, bro, they gonna find out. They're gonna know.
But what kind of stuff is that though? Like,
why would you're
putting confidential documents about the Pentagon from the Pentagon on Discord in a group, not knowing who's who from where? Oh, I thought they have like severe. He get the
Well, we about to find out.
Stuff. All right, yeah.
We're about to find out what happened to him.
Jack would use his clearance to access and take photos of various high security documents and leak them to this community of friends for seemingly no other reason than to impress them. For the next 4 months, starting in October, he would publicize 300 different files that were originally intended for military leaders to make informed decisions on future strategies regarding the Ukraine war. Some focused on plans for the Ukrainian military and exposing operational vulnerabilities, and other things that could especially be harmful if they fell into Russian hands. From what's known, Thug Shaker Central had at least 24 active members, and yet for the time being, none of them mirrored these documents elsewhere online. This would change when in late February, one of the other members went rogue and posted some of the documents into a Minecraft Discord server called Minecraft Earth Map. From here, they were visible to thousands of people and soon got shared further and further and eventually were uploaded onto a Russian Telegram channel about a month later. This was reported on by the New York Post, and it was then that the U.S. government took notice of the leaks and began their own formal investigation. After a week of tracking the origins of the leak, Teixeira's online handles Jack the Dripper and Excalibur Effect were discovered and linked to the matter. From here, he was promptly arrested by the FBI on April 13th of 2023. Next to his bed, they apparently found a stockpile of weapons, including handguns, shotguns, and an AK-style rifle. Upon being taken in, he was charged with violating the Espionage Act, as well as removal and retention of classified documents without authorization, and he faced a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison for the first charge, an additional 5 for the second. During the court proceedings, many shocking things about Teixeira were discovered. such as the fact that he had made several threatening remarks online towards multiple minority groups. And in one instance, these remarks led to a suspension at school that prevented him from getting a gun license prior to joining the National Guard.
Of course.
On June 15th, he was formally indicted and held without the possibility for bail after being considered a flight risk and a danger to society due to the information he could potentially still spread, as well as possible violent acts that he may seek to commit given his history. 6 days later, he chose to plead not guilty. In 2024, Jack was found guilty and sentenced to serve 15 years in prison for his involvement in the Thug Shaker Central debacle.
Stupid.
Was it worth it? Thug Shaker Central is quite a name for a Discord community, but crimes have occurred in far less suspecting servers. The Pokemon Go Discord server shooter. What? You might be surprised to find that places as innocuous as a Pokemon Go Discord server aren't immune to people issuing death threats. In 2023, a Pokemon Go player using the pseudonym Paul Allen, yet another American Psycho reference in today's video, Jesus. Well, he would issue a direct threat in the chat. I, Dominic Valentine, vow to shoot up Loggers Run Middle School on Monday morning. Gonna shoot 6 students. While the reason for the threat being issued is unclear, this YouTuber believes that the individual may have gotten pissed off after losing a high-stakes Pokemon battle, and he just lashed out. The threat was instantly reported by several users, which eventually led to police identifying and arresting the issuer. That being a 22-year-old Florida man named Fernando Gate. When detained by police, Fernando admitted to making the threat. The man's father, who he apparently lived with, claimed his son would have no way to follow through with such a promise, as firearms in the homes were secured in a safe. But police weren't taking any chances with the guy, and he had to Pokemon Go to jail. While in custody, the man's explanation for issuing the threat was that he was, quote, very angry. Fernando was booked into the Palm County jail, and a judge set his bond at $1 million. He was ordered to not have any contact with the school that he threatened and was forbidden from using the internet for a while. I'd like to once again thank MyHeritage DNA for...
Man, this was a crazy one, bro.
No, that was crazy for real, bro. Like, all the sickos and people out here that do things like that or think that's funny to post certain things like that online, you need to go to jail. You need to get exactly what's owed to you. Because, bro, that's not funny. Especially when people have already suffered from these things happening in real life. And you just never know when something like that would happen or could happen. So to play like that online, yeah, you definitely deserve to get packed up, for real.
Oh, no, facts, man. Hey.
I'll make an example out of them.
Hey, man. Just be chilling in Discord, bro.
No.
Just be chill, man. That's all we asked for. There ain't no need to be a villain. Just be chill.
Homie say Satan's face turn was crazy.
that was kind of wild.
That was just like they like, hey, don't put that on us.
We might be who we are, but we ain't that motherfucker.
We might be villains, but we ain't monsters.
Get that motherfucker out of here.
We agree. But nah, man, hey, again, if you are in Discord, man, and you see anybody reporting anything wild or saying anything wild or, you know, just acting strange like that, bro, be mindful. Keep your heads up, man, and report the weirdos, bro. The people with the weird names like that, because you never know. That dude actually with the CP, he actually was engaging in buying and selling stuff like that. That's just weird, bro.
Get him out of here.
Type of time, you gotta get him out of here, bro. No, you don't even joke about certain things. So
nope.
Shout out to the homie for the video, man. His videos are usually pretty cool, man. So if y'all want to continue, make sure you run the likes up, subscribe. Rogue Squad, appreciate you for joining. We continuing to rock out on Twitch right now. Continue to spread love, be love as usual. Keep God first. Catch y'all in the next one. Peace.
The bitch from Houston. If you got a problem, then we got the solutions. And there's no illusion. I made this shit happen, I'm living life lucid. I'm switching my strategies. Now they hate on me cause I'm causing casualties. But why are they after me? Deep inside they know they can't handle half of me.